I am in Birmingham.
What are you doing while you're there? Is it just you go to hang out, or are you actually doing anything?
Well, usually we go to hang out. I've spent most of my time by myself today.
Why?
So we
Why are you there if
came
that's
back.
all you do?
We're going on holiday next weekend.
Why are you?
Who
Why
is
are
even
you
messaging
there
me?
if that's
It's
all you
fun.
do? Oh my God!
I
Shut.
have to stop. I'm not staying on the call if it's going to make this noise all day.
Huh?
I'm not staying on the call if it's going to do that the whole time.
So it does it. It's like it tries to catch up on the messages that it's not received. But I don't know how to get it to stop. So
Cool.
yeah.
That's enough.
I'm working on it. Hold on. Yeah. I wish I hadn't started it. I wish we hadn't gone live while all this was going on.
I did think you picked a weird time to go live.
Well, I was just conscious because you've only got half an hour or so, so I was just trying to knock it out real fast. And it seems to have gone quiet, but apparently not. It doesn't seem to care about my schedule.
It's always the case. Just to settle down to knock one out if something goes wrong.
Just settle down what, sorry?
What?
Knock one out.
Who said that?
Wait, so whenever you're in Birmingham, do you have like spots that you like to go? Do you have like?
No, most of the time we just hang out at the house. Like we're coming here to hang out with the people that are here, not to go and do things around here particularly.
No, I know, but do you not go for like family dinners or something?
I mean, they have a Sunday roast regardless of.
Well, as you should.
World War III could be kicking off, and there will be roast beef on the table at the same time every Sunday, and it's amazing. So that's reason enough for me to come up.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. But wait, so you're only there over? What about Saturday? Like, what about lunch or like, do you not do brunch or dinner on Saturday or something? Like, what do they do?
No, I mean, they don't treat it like a big deal when we come back because it's just I don't know. We get breakfast if we wake up first. We'll get breakfast if we all wake up at the same time. We'll all have like sausage sandwiches or toast or something. Like it's not.
But it's always at the house.
Yeah. Why is that weird?
It seems odd.
I mean, people don't eat out at restaurants here as much as they do over there.
That's true. That's a good point. This is going to drive me mental.
Can you not just close it?
Hold on, I think I figured it out.
I can almost put all of my money on the fact that you haven't figured it out.
Play sound effect. Boom. I think I figured that out. I can't. I don't want any of this. Okay, I think I'm done.
Sure.
We'll find out. As soon as I say that, I say ding. Okay, yeah. I just got one and it didn't go off. So there we go.
So, yeah, have you been at?
But yes, like whenever we go out, I'm going out to dinner with Nicole's family tonight, and we're gonna go get it. Like, why I say that? I don't know for sure. I'm assuming we're gonna go get dinner.
But again, that's a much more, I don't know, American thing to do here. Like we've been out a few times. Like it's not like we never go out, but.
But so that's what I'm saying. Like, what are your favorite spots in Birmingham? Like, where do you like to go and eat?
Well, so I say Birmingham. We are 45 minutes maybe from Birmingham here at all times. So because it's closer to Stoke than it is to Birmingham, probably maybe. But there's a couple of nice local places. We went to a place called Ego for Laura's birthday last November.
Ego.
There's like a Greek type of food. That's really good.
Is it Ero or Ego?
EGO. Ego.
Oh.
That thing that you have too much of.
Oh, no.
I'm sorry I couldn't bring an apple to the company.
What kind of Greek food do you get? I didn't know you liked Greek food. I didn't know anybody really likes Greek food.
I don't know. I can't even remember what we had. It was good 6 months ago now. 7 months. Who knows?
It's pretty mental that it's already June.
Yeah, this year's going. I read something on Facebook like time flies when your life's a fucking mess.
Yeah.
It really does.
It really does. What's also, I've tried to have this conversation at work as well. So as you get older, time goes faster.
Yes, you're running out of it. That makes sense.
What? See, this is the issue that came up at work. All the old, like, grumpy old people. But time is less important to me. No. What I'm saying is that when you're 1 year old, when you're one, the year that goes from 1 year to 2 years of life is 50% of your life. So it's a higher ratio of your life of time. Whereas when you're 50 and 1 year passes, it's only 1/51st of your life. 1/51th. Like in ratio terms, it's much less significant a portion of time. But they were all like, "What? So are you saying that time is less important to me?" No, I'm just it's maths, and I'm explaining how.
This is what happens when you talk to people at work that you describe as being old and grumpy.
Sorry?
So this is what happens when you talk to people at work that you describe as old and grumpy.
That's why I don't talk to people at work.
Good choice, apart from the ones that you talk about pooing with.
So it's absolutely bizarre. Since last time's episode, there have been a number of incidents in the restroom that I've had to raise issue with. Like people that I know that I've been in there with, and I don't say anything. I just send them the link to the podcast. I'm like, enjoy. Get back to me. But so maybe 2 or 3 days after we recorded the last one, and we were talking about you can't stand next to me and just rip at, like you can't fart right next to me. It's not okay. There's a guy on one of the teams close to us, and I'm sure if he watches this, he'll know who he is. I've discussed it with him and a friend of ours. I had headphones in right as I was getting ready to leave for the day, so like I had my backpack on, headphones in, but I didn't have any music yet. I hadn't picked a song yet. My headphones were just in, and I not, but he just stood right next to me and just ripped fart after fart. I'm like, I'm gonna send you this link, and you're gonna listen to it, and you're gonna heed the lessons from this.
Just in the middle of the office.
Not in the middle of the office. We're in the bathroom. Like we're stood urinals next to each other.
Right.
But I'm like, can't do. I'm stood right here. Like if we were anywhere else in the world, you wouldn't do this. Like just the fact that we're in this room doesn't mean that you could fart right next to me.
Yeah, it's very true.
But I have discovered as well that there is a fine line. So people are like, well, if you can't go to the bathroom to fart, where do you fart? I was like, no. I don't have any issue with you farting. If you fart, go ahead. That's the place to do it for sure. Just don't do it right next to me. Like let's not play it off like I'm not there.
No, I think that is a good line to draw.
Yeah. Also, yesterday this happened, and a listener. I had to Tuesday, handled my business, and as I was I came out of the cubicle, and as I came out, another guy that I work with, who was not a listener, he looked like he had realized that both cubicles were locked. He was like, oh dang it! So he was like leaving, and as he saw the door open, he turned back around and like we crossed paths coming out of the cubicle, and I was like, that seat is still going to be grossly warm. He seemed completely unfazed by it.
Yep, gross.
That's why we need more listeners. That's why we need to get this out there.
I mean, I also feel like we shouldn't talk every week about crap etiquette.
I think it's probably the most important thing that we've spoken about to date. Not just in the podcast, I mean, just in our like fraternal relationship.
Sure.
Which, while we're thinking about it, while we're talking about it, I'm going to be lame and I'm going to plug this. So if listeners haven't liked or subscribed to this podcast yet or shared, please go ahead and do so now.
Okay, good work.
Over and done with.
Nice.
I feel dirty all over.
So, can we move on to the fact that you are bent enough to Snapchat me in your bathroom mirror when you feel like you've had a good workout?
Excuse me?
We're good to address that topic, right? That you just shirtlessly Snapchat me from your bathroom when you feel like you've had a good workout.
If you want.
This is the danger of this podcast, because now every time
this only ever happens to me. Like you only ever address these things like, oh, Ben did something embarrassing. Let's talk about this. Like
during that time, I got arse fingered by a doctor.
You cut out. I didn't hear that. I just arse fingered.
That's all you needed to hear. I said you brought up that without my knowing. Like I didn't know you were going to do it, and you just brought it up to viewers.
I told you in advance, in preparation of the episode, that we were going to discuss your fingering.
So I sent the first episode to Kiefer and Ed, and I had forgotten that I had intended to not tell them that happened, and almost simultaneously got messages like, "Why are you letting people up your ass, mate?"
It is a good question. The people.
He seemed like a nice man.
I didn't know his knuckles were quite so large.
Oh gosh. Clearly, he works with his hands a lot, very rough.
He has the finger strength of a rock climbing pianist.
So, yeah, where's this workout mantra come from that you've suddenly taken up?
It's just, it doesn't even really necessarily feel like working out all that much, really. The big change that I've made has been I've just started eating a million times better. So I cook probably if there's 21 meals a day, 21 meals a week, I like make something probably 16 or 17 pounds.
See, that's really bizarre, because here that wouldn't be like great at all.
But I mean, well, I say that, but it's not like I'm not putting stuff in the microwave. I'm not unfreezing stuff. Like it's not like ready-made dinners. Like I'm making something, I'm cooking something, or I'm baking something. Or I rarely bake anyway. But
yeah, I have been meaning to have a word with you about your latest. I think you put it on Instagram, and you definitely Snapchatted it about how proud you were of your dietary change.
Yeah.
Because I'm all very happy for you for changing your diet and for eating how you want to eat. But for some reason, and you do this in all walks of life, where you take up something, like you start doing something, and you harp on at everyone like, look at the shit I'm doing. Everybody should do the shit that I'm doing.
When did I do that with diet?
Like, I mean, you posted on Instagram, like, this is the new keto diet. It's great. And even when we came over, like, me and mom and dad came over for Christmas, and you spent the whole time, like, you need to cut out this, you need to start doing this, and why don't you already do this? Like, you're very persistent.
Very what?
Persistent.
Okay.
And nobody
I haven't told anybody to do any specific diet. I show people what my diet looked like.
No one cares.
Well, it got. Bear with me. Hold, please.
Also, I can't see you.
It got 32 likes and 37 likes. So some people care.
Well,
Granted, not a lot, but some.
37's not bad. Why? I can't see you anymore either. Like your camera is gone for me now.
Oh, I can see you. You're fine. We're
Okay.
record you, but you are lagging and moving quite slowly for some reason. I'm not entirely sure why, but
That was my fault. I was doing the robot.
well, no, even like whenever you speak, it's not catching all of your mouth movements. Whatever. We can hear you, and we.
Just added some extra ones to make up for it.
It looks like you're like a Japanese movie that's been done. But no, that's why. So my diet, I am quite proud of it, and I'm very proud of the results. So I went to go. I've told you a little bit about this morning. So I have an annual physical through work.
Yep.
And so they do like a urine test, a blood test, vision, hearing, diet, and then you see a doctor who kind of summarizes your blood tests and all of your other results and whatnot. And so I do it around about the same time every year, and this time it was on Friday. And so they keep record of all your old results too. And so since I've taken up jiu-jitsu and kickboxing and I've changed my diet, my body fat has dropped 2%. My waist has dropped 2 inches. My hips have dropped an inch. I've gained, in a 1 minute abdominal crunch test, I've gained 10 crunches, which is a 19% increase, which is pretty significant. So I'm at 53 crunches in a minute as opposed to 43. And my sit and reach test, which is like straight leg, lock out, touch your toes. Last year I thought I was doing really well. I was at 19 inches past my toes, which was 80th percentile. This year I was at 25 inches, which is 99th percentile.
Who needs to be that flexible?
Nobody needs to be that flexible, but it doesn't hurt.
In fairness, I'm trying to be that flexible for yoga, but it's not happening.
It'll come. I mean, practicing it helps. Every time you stretch, you get a little stretchy. That's how that works. So,
I went to yoga last week, and the instructor was like, "Okay, like kneel down and put your
dick in your
hand, cup your
balls
hand in front of you, put your head in your hands, and then he's like, okay, and raise one leg up behind you, and now raise the other leg up." And I thought that meant put this leg down and raise this leg.
To do like a headstand.
This girl next to me was the only other person in the class, just went fully vertical. And I was like, what are you doing? I don't think that's like, I looked at her like, I think you misunderstood it, love. Like, you're doing it wrong. And the yoga guy looked at me like, well, anytime now. I was like, oh, I'm going to have to try. And I damn nearly killed myself.
Wait, so there's only 2 of you in the class?
I'm not ready for that. Huh?
There's only 2 of you in the class?
Yeah, so really, like, so it's the only reason I heard about it is because it's at the place that I used to do climbing. And he does a bunch of classes all over Manchester, and this is just the only one that I could A, attend, and B, heard about in the first place. So sometimes there is 4 of us, sometimes there's 5 of us. The last time it was just me and this other girl, but it was because it was a bank holiday Monday, so a lot of people were out drinking.
Yeah.
That also didn't help. I had been out drinking beforehand, so I was a little drunk when I got there.
Working out when you're drunk is very, very difficult.
I tried going to the gym with a hangover because I had heard that you could sweat out a hangover.
You can.
I mean, I think you're supposed to get on the treadmill though, because I almost decapitated myself with some dumbbells.
Yeah, lifting heavy weights.
Almost immediately.
But yeah, like I remember whenever I was in college and I was hungover, I would go. We had the gym at our. It was like the wellness center. It was Bradshaw Wellness Center. All the students had a free membership to it, and I mean it was a nice gym. It had really, really nice weight room, tons of free weights, tons of machines, huge open space. It was really nice. They had a basketball court there, but they had a not. I don't think it was Olympic size, but it was a big pool with a huge. I hadn't seen a hot tub like this. It was a huge like therapy hot tub. You could fit like 18 people in it. It was just a big. It wasn't like rounded or anything. It was a big, like, rectangular. It was probably half the size of the pool. It was big. They had that, and then they had one not quite as hot therapy pool, and that was deep. It wasn't necessarily. So I'd say the pool was, I don't know, like 65, 70 degrees, whatever it would be.
Mm-hmm.
The hot tub was like, I don't know, like 130 degrees. I don't know. I'm making these up. This other pool was like 90 degrees. So it was warmer, but it wasn't like crazy. But they had a steam room and a sauna in there as well. So, I mean, it was really, really nice.
Yeah, it sounds good.
Yeah, it was awesome. And considering it was free, it was awesome. And so we would do that. Sometimes we'd go get super hungover. We'd go get super hungover. We'd go out on like a Friday night and Saturday morning. We'd just like stumble over to the wellness center, especially during summer school. Because, I mean, you don't really have anything. You just have a 2-hour class and then you're out. So we would go do that. Like, I would go work out and go hit the sauna and go to the steam room and sweat it out. And I came out and I felt way better.
That does sound like a good idea.
Yeah. But I remember whenever I would have been 17, I think, 17 or 18. And I was playing for Manchester. And we were playing, I don't know why, we played England under 18s twice. No, under 16s twice. We played them on like a Saturday and a Sunday for some reason. And one of the games was on the day of some big pub crawl. Like, so I went and did the Ramy Mile before. I went and did the Ramy Mile before this game against one of England's, like, a national team of people that were around my age. I think they were 16, and I was under 18, was what it was. And I was really excited to play, and I was like, I'm going to show, because I felt like I had been snubbed when I was 16 and when I was 18. So I was like, I'm really going to show these kids what's up. Doesn't matter if I'm drunk. And I was awful. Like, not even just like, oh, I was missing open shots. It was like I was tripping over stuff. I couldn't catch the ball. Like, I was awful.
Were you still drunk when you were playing?
Yeah, 100%.
Great work.
I scored like 4 points in about 18 minutes. I barely played because I was that bad. I scored like 4 points, and it was just like, oh, it was terrible. And then we played the next day, and I was fully sober and very rested and whatever. And I absolutely tore. I scored like 26 on them or something. Tortured me. But yeah, just doing that kind of stuff when you're drunk is very difficult.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever done that. Like, I've never had, because I always had like Saturday morning football games, and I don't think by that point I was going out on Friday nights and stuff. I would always go out on Saturday nights.
Yeah.
So I don't think I've never played a football game drunk. I've played basketball hungover for sure. This is how intense the college basketball is over here. We went out on like a Monday or something and got wasted drunk, and then had a practice on Tuesday morning. And we got there, and I knew that people that were showing up were drunk because I had been with them and I was also drunk. And our big man was like literally crawling onto the court, and he got up and it did the biggest dunk on someone that he'd done all season, like, because he just lost all fear of getting hurt or something. I don't know what it was. He dunked all over this guy, and I just took the opportunity to be like, that's enough for practice today. And it was about 12 minutes into practice, so we just left and went to McDonald's.
Solid work.
The intensity really wasn't there at university, especially as I was supposed to be coaching.
I still think it's weird that you decided to stop playing and start coaching.
I would definitely not have done it if I could go back and do it again.
Why? Well, you had the chance. Like, even so, you did it your second year, and then the third year, we were like, "Why don't you play?" And you're like, "Well, because I'm a coach now."
Because the people that were there that would have also coached, I didn't feel like they would do a better job than I would, and I didn't want to get coached by someone that I spent my whole time thinking, nah, I'm not doing that. Like, that seemed like a waste of time. So I was like, fine, I'll coach.
If that was me, I would not have coached, and I would still have done whatever I wanted.
I mean, I spent the whole time in high school and college doing that. So by the time I got to university and we were getting smoked by 60 by people like Salford, I was like, I'm done with this. I need to stop being awful. But it turns out I was not a good coach either.
Yeah, like if you had a calling for it, like if that was your like real passion, I really want to be a coach. Like I could do this.
Like, I could do it for sure. Like, I'm a smart enough player to coach. I just would also drink a lot.
Well, why don't you still coach then?
Because I'm too busy working.
You don't do anything else. You don't do anything over the weekends?
I like having my weekends to myself. I'm not coaching some sweaty children.
Why do they have to be children? Why don't you just get a team together and go hang out and go like D3 or something?
The amount of people that I know that play basketball in Manchester amounts to one guy. No, wait, two people. One of them lives in Stockport, and one of them lives in Manchester but hasn't played basketball for maybe 3 or 4 years.
When was the last time you played?
Whenever I went back to university, like an old boys, like we played the young uns, the ones that were still students, and the old boys came back and played, and that was about 2 years ago, maybe.
So you haven't played basketball in 2 years.
Oh no, actually, that's not true. I scrimmaged with you when I came over at Christmas,
Oh, that's right.
and that really showed. I could make a jump shot.
Yeah. Well, do you not ever miss it? Do you not ever want to go to a meeting and play or something?
I get an itch every now and then, but honestly, not that much. Like, I love watching. Like, right now, I was watching Kyrie Irving highlights whilst I was waiting for this to start, and I watch it relentlessly over and over, and I'll listen to interviews and I've learned about the game, but I don't play. Like, it pisses me off because I don't play. Like, to be good and to make the shots that you want to take, you have to practice at least 3 times a week, which I can't commit to. So every time I show up on a Thursday to play a one-off game, I'm trash, and it just annoys me.
You don't have to play 3 times a week at all.
To be good,
I play once every couple weeks at most. That's if nothing comes up on the Thursday night that I can play. Like I'll play maybe once a month, like regularly once a month, but at most once every 2 weeks. And I don't have any problems. I mean, like there's stuff that I'm like, oh, I used to be able to make this, but it's not like
yeah.
it's not like it stops me. Like I still get busy, you know.
But it's different for you though.
Why?
Well, I mean, you always played at higher level than I did anyway, so you're terrible as my.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like I've never felt like, oh, I'm awful today. I really haven't felt like that in a while.
I mean, I feel like that every time I step on the floor.
Maybe that's why.
Maybe that's why. What? I'm confused now.
Maybe that's why you're awful is because you think going in you're going to be awful.
No, I don't think I am. Like, I mean, I started when I came to scrimmage with you at Christmas. I started off and went like 3 or 4, made some difficult, like a couple of jump shots and a difficult layup, and then I didn't make a shot for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
Like, I can start out. I figure like once the defense kind of works me out and works out what I can do, I'm very easy to shut down because I can't handle the ball well because I'm not used to having the ball in my hands, and I don't shoot the ball well because I haven't shot the ball well since I was like 13.
You should sign up like a Friday night league at a meet or something just to go on. Because I mean that's not a great level, but it's a good it's a good workout, and B it'd be fun to just see. Like whenever I started playing indoor football over here, I was like I haven't played any football since I was 14, 15 maybe. And the first week I was there, my touch was abysmal. Like I couldn't trap a ball. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't gauge how hard I was supposed to kick it to pass or anything. I mean, I scored, but it was just because I was like still relatively athletic. Like I was fast, and I was not. Like, I didn't. My endurance was there. I was okay cardio wise, but technique wise, I was terrible. But then we played. I think it was like a 10-week or 11-week season, something like that. And by the end of it, I was like, this is legit. Like I want to keep doing it. I want to keep playing. And I was excited for the games whenever we would get there. And that feeling of, I still remember it, like that feeling of walking into a Michi on a Friday night and be like, all right, who's up? Like, who are we playing? That feeling was pretty awesome. Or like whenever we play, I can't remember what the team was called, Bullets or something like that. And it was Jamie Glenn and Bald Charlie from Bolton. And we played them on a Friday night, and it was me and Matt Shapiro and Drew Crow and Jamie something or other. And Alessio was playing for some reason. That feeling of walking in with your tiny little water bottle and like, all right, let's go and play. It was awesome. Like I used to I get those like that little adrenaline rush right before the ball goes up for tip off, and you just get into it, and it's awesome.
I do miss it for sure. But
When was the last time you played with like an actual referee?
I don't know. Not since I was at uni, probably.
Yeah, you should do it. Just find like even if it's just like a one Friday, just go up there and be like, I'm just looking for a team, and see if anybody lets you play, or if anybody's short or something.
I mean, apparently, like, so one of the guys that I know around town said that there's like a scrimmage league that him and his friend go to, like occasionally, and I feel like I should go to that, but I don't know. Like I work and then I have to study and then I go to the gym and that's my week. That's how it works.
Sounds pretty boring, doesn't it?
It's not. I enjoy. Like I mean, I simplified it as much as possible, but that's how my time is spent. Like.
We'll change your workout. Instead of going to the gym one night, go play basketball one night, or go climb one night. Or like that's what changed everything for me, because I had gotten into a routine of, if I'm going to work out, then it's going to be I'm lifting weights or I'm running or something. I burned out because I don't like lifting weights in the first place, and I burned out. And then I joined the UFC gym, and I started doing MMA classes, and I started doing jiu-jitsu, and I started doing kickboxing. And I was like, oh, this is like, it's all brand new. It's all stuff. It's like you with your yoga. Like, it's all brand new stuff. And it's all stuff like whenever you're at like level 0, whenever you're right here, and the people that you're working out with are here, and the people that train you are here, if you go consistently, then you can't not see improvement. And it's not like when you're at a really, really high level. Like whenever I was playing basketball, it's like, I don't feel like I'm getting any better. I'm just like maintaining a high level. Whenever you suck at something and you go all the time, you see improvement. Like pretty much every time you go, you learn something, or you learn like a little new niche, or like, oh, I didn't know you could do this. Oh, look at that. Oh, I can do this now. And it gets to be really enjoyable. And then when you're doing it, it doesn't even feel like you're necessarily working out. It's just fun. Like I do still run, and I occasionally lift weights, but that's when it feels like this is work, and I don't feel like doing it. I don't want to do this. I want to be here. Sometimes I run and I really enjoy it. Like if it's a nice day and I'm just in the zone, I feel in the mood for it, then I enjoy it, and I'll go out intending to run 5K, and I'll come back and I've run 10K, and I feel like, oh, nailed it. But like playing basketball, I can go play basketball for an hour and a half, and I can be dripping sweat by the end of it. Like, oh, it's a good workout. And I was getting buckets.
That's the thing, that like I have always been a very slender person.
You're a lot bigger build than me.
But that's like I don't think I necessarily am. But that's only because I've started to lift. Like if I ran or if I did any kind of cardio or anything like that, like I lose weight fast. Like it's really hard for me to put on any muscle or any weight. So, but I enjoy going to the gym because I can see in the mirror physical results. So that's kind of what motivates me. I don't feel like when I go to the gym, like I went today for like an hour and a half, which is way longer than I intended to go, and I'm going to go again tomorrow because I want to go again tomorrow. Like I enjoy going.
Yeah.
So, just depends what you enjoy, what you prioritize.
That's true. But so then why have you started doing yoga?
Because I am incredibly inflexible, and I feel like aches and pains and all kinds of things. Like you can get a lot of positivity out of doing yoga, and it's good for the mind and it's relaxing and all that kind of stuff.
Sound like a hippie.
I part like the big. I don't know. I can't explain it because I'm not in any way that kind of hippy dippy person. But I always walk out of the yoga classes being like, "Whew, feel good, feel relaxed."
Yeah, 100%.
So
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard. A lot of people don't recognize that, but it's really hard to do.
it is hard. So
But do you feel that same thing though? Like you learn something every week. Oh, I couldn't do this last week.
right now, I feel like, oh, I couldn't do that last week. I still can't do it this week, but it'll get there.
How often do you go?
It's only once a week, but I mean, I'm not even doing it once a week. Like I'm going. I went last week, and I'm going this month, like the Monday coming up. But this is the first time I've done a back to back.
Did I tell you whenever I was looking at coming over there in August, I was looking for MMA gyms.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't want to do that.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. It's not for everybody, but I think getting over the hurdle of actually trying it, like once you actually like, I'll just try it out. I think once you get to that point and you actually experience it, it changes, and it's like, oh, this is legit. This is fun.
Yeah, it could happen. I mean, I don't. I probably would enjoy it when I went. I just don't have any urge to get fucked up by a stranger.
You can get fucked up. It's not like you don't leave limping or anything, or black eyes or anything.
I would probably manage it.
My body feels worse after an hour of playing basketball than it does, or even an hour of running. I never run for an hour. But if I was to run for an hour, my body would feel way worse than an hour of jiu-jitsu.
Oh no. Ooh. Yeah.
And speaking of that feeling of leaving, it's weird. I've been doing it since last March, maybe.
Mm.
Like 2 or 3 times a week. Nothing crazy. And the feeling of confidence that I have after it, or now as opposed to before, is crazy. I mean, I'm not about to start a fight or anything, but I feel like if it ever really got to it, if somebody were to ever start something now, I feel way more confident than I would have done a year ago, which is a
Yeah,
cool feeling.
I imagine you are. Like that's a good thing about doing what you're doing. Like it has an application in everyday life. Like
Yeah, that's one thing that I think about a lot is that, like, even now, so like watching the finals, watching LeBron and Steph do their crazy stuff. I look at stuff and I watch LeBron dunk, and then he turns around and he like roars at the crowd. I'm like, but that's not like a measure, like the measure of a man. Like everyone looks at him and kind of marvels, like he's a beast. But really, when you look at what he did, he just jumped up and threw something through a basket.
I mean, you can oversimplify anything like that. The fact that he doesn't just jump up and throw stuff through a basket, like he jumps up 280 pounds worth of weight,
He's not.
two other people that are also probably not much lighter, takes their bodies and then dunks it. Like he's not just jumping up and
But
throwing
that's what I'm
balls.
saying though. Like if you go back, like let's go like evolutionary. If you look at a man 1,000 years ago, a hunter-gatherer 1,000 years ago, and you saw, oh, he can jump really high and he's really big and he can jump really high and throw this through this thing. It doesn't have any real-world application. Like he wouldn't be adored by the population. Like he can bounce a ball very well.
But
Like,
I mean, basketball's entertainment. That is entertaining to watch.
I understand. No, I mean, I play basketball. I understand the concept behind it. But like, you look at it and you're like, he doesn't have to society, he doesn't have a great deal. Like he doesn't add a lot to society because of his skill set. Whereas when you look at, still in terms of hunter gatherers, when you look at like I mean, the only person most people would know is like a Conor McGregor. Like you look at him, and it's like he can defend himself. You can't attack him. Like,
I mean, that's not adding anything to society, though, is it?
I mean, as a hunter gatherer, yeah, it does. As a man who will have to defend his family, or a man who has to go and take land or protect something. Like, yeah, like
But that's
if
such
you,
an outdated
if you
concept,
give
though.
me LeBron James and Conor McGregor stood next to each other and say, who's the more, I don't want to say successful, although Conor McGregor made more money than LeBron James did. Where did you go?
Oh, my phone has just gone to low power mode, which apparently means turning the camera off. That's helpful.
Well, we need the camera.
That's cool. Podcast, you don't need to see me.
Huh?
You don't need to see me. It's a podcast. Just carry on.
Just plug your phone in.
But I mean, this whole concept that you are about to finish the sentence of is like you're making it sound like the measure of a man in prehistoric times is still the measure of a man today, which is absolutely not true.
No, but it's not. But it's like, why is LeBron James marveled because he can jump higher than everybody else? And like the whole thing, like his roar after a dunk makes it seem like he is more manly than the other person that didn't jump quite as high as him to stop him from dunking. Right?
No.
Or like all the like, if you hit a jump, this is the one that gets me as well. Like you hit a jump shot over somebody and you like mean mug them, like, but he might beat you up though. Maybe he'd whoop your ass. Like you're not tough and you're not hard because you stared him down after he hit a jump shot. Or like after a cross, like if somebody crosses over and you fall and then you stare at them and you mean mug them. Because like even if you look at basketball, game 1 of the finals, Tristan Thompson gets ejected. Like a lot of it comes down to like, I'm a bigger man, I'm tougher than you. Like he got ejected because Draymond was in his face. Right?
Yeah.
So like even when it comes to that, like I don't think you're tougher than me because you can hit a jump shot. Like you can stare at me all you want, I'll whoop your ass.
But I mean, I feel like that's a really bonehead. Like that's a really dumb way of looking at life. Just because you wrestle now and you've learned to fight, now classing people and classing sport and classing capability by, I mean, you might be really good, but I could probably punch you in the face. Like that's a real mentality.
All I'm saying is it's just odd that there's a toughness associated with dunking or hitting a jump shot.
There's a toughness associated with I can do something that you can't do. Like you can't beat me. Like for someone I've seen you and heard you smack talk and be cocky and like talk down to people that can't do the things that you can do. And that applies in any walk of life. Like it's not the whole idea of being masculine or being admired comes down to the whole like you can try and do whatever you want, but at the end of the day, I own you. And that's on a talent level, and that's what that roar is for. That's not because you could win in a fight. That's because.
But that's what I'm saying. Like that only applies though. You can't stop me. That only applies within those 4 lines.
I mean,
that's like LeBron James is only the most successful at what he does within those 4 lines. Like he's only tough inside those 4 lines.
I mean, I feel, but that's such a dumb thing to say. Like if he all over me and roared and was like, "I am the best at what I do. You're in my house now," and I was like, "Yeah, well, watch this," and I like pulled out a skipping rope to try and make him look a twat because I'm better at skipping. Like it's really pointless. Like you're there.
That's what I'm saying. But like, if he does that, or like he's at a club, him and Conor McGregor. Like, let me find somebody the same. So he's against Stipe Miocic, heavyweight champion of the world in the UFC.
Mm-hmm.
240 pounds, similar, like 6'4", 6'5", similar weight, similar size kind of man. LeBron James is like, you're in my house now, bitch. Stipe takes him to the cleaners.
You say that like Steve Pay, whoever that dude is, would be if LeBron didn't want him in his house, like he wouldn't have a chance to take him to the ground because he'd be like, You're in my house. I literally own the house. Like, I'm a multi-millionaire, if not a billionaire. Try touching me. See what happens. See if every person in this club jumps you and beats the fuck out of you. Because that's what's going to happen.
But I'm not talking about. Why can I still not see you, James? Are you plugged in?
I've turned power mode off and it said camera coming on, but my camera didn't come back on.
Interesting. Okay. No, I'm not talking about. We're not talking about people ganging up, because if it comes to that, I'm sure Stipe's got.
That's the whole point, though. Like, you can be tough by yourself, but if you're like,
that's the measure of a man. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's
the measure.
We're not talking about the whole community that you're a part of. We're talking about one-on-one, mano y mano. That's why people call the boxing hit. That's why Anthony Joshua is the baddest man alive. That's why Deontay Wilder, baddest man alive. That's why Stipe Miocic, baddest man alive. Like, they're not talking about those other people, like whole teams of people.
But that's the point, though. People evolved to work out that being strong and being the toughest guy in the room doesn't make you the baddest man in the world. Because if you can lift up a big rock, but you drop it on your own face because you're thick as shit. Like, if I can work out a way, Steve Jobs or a Bill Gates or a Mark Zuckerberg could be like, I'll just design something that does it for me. Like, why would I do that? Like, that's the measure of a man. Like, if you're intuitive and smart and you can work out how not to have to use brute force, you have way more respect from me than the guy that can bench press or that can punch me in the face really hard. Like, yeah, sure, try. Why not? I'll get you arrested, or I'll just throw you out of the club because I own this club, because I'm a multimillionaire. Do you own any clubs, or are you just really good at punching people in the face?
The people that are really good at punching people in the face are also multimillionaires.
Well, yeah, no, but they probably can't touch LeBron James within an inch of his life. Like, that's the thing.
Conor made more money last year than LeBron did.
I mean, LeBron's been doing this for a lot longer.
Yeah, LeBron's also older.
Out. What's that have to do with anything?
That's why he's been doing it a lot longer.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. So it doesn't matter. Like, my point was, being the baddest man alive doesn't mean one-on-one, because the baddest man alive works out that he doesn't even need to be in that one-on-one fight. He can just work out how to get out of it and be like, that's cool. You wrestle your way out of whatever you feel like.
That's not true.
It is.
So look at Anthony Joshua. Let's look.
You have this weird caveman approach to life. Like, oh, you think? I mean, you might be smart and successful. And
all right, hold on. Hang up and call me back so we get your video back.
Hang on.
He's an idiot. 100%. Anthony Joshua is a four-way. There he is. Okay. Anthony Joshua.
Yes.
I think he holds 4 heavyweight belts right now.
That's 4 out of 5.
Yeah, 4 out of 5, and is selling out Wembley for every one of his fights. 100,000 tickets, and he's getting a portion of every one of those tickets that sells.
Yep.
He's making hundreds of millions of pounds every single fight. He's fighting twice a year, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, he's bringing in exorbitant amounts of money.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's really good at punching people in the face.
So he has to put his life in boxing, because it can come down to it. He has to put almost his life on the line every time he wants to make an exorbitant amount of money. Bill Gates at home itching his scrot and make the same amount of money. He could pay people however much money he wanted and said, go stand in the corner and punch each other in the face for me. That's fine. Like, that's the measure of a man to me, is someone that can work out how to work, like how to do all of this stuff. The idea of being a great man because you're good with your hands and good as a worker is such a prehistoric point now. Like, you're just going to die out if that's what you think.
How are you saying that? How do you die out when Anthony Joshua is one of the highest paid athletes in the world?
Because he's going to last how long, and then he might have a slur or an illness or brain damage. Like, good for you.
Same thing could happen to Bill Gates.
It's pretty unlikely, though, isn't it?
Wow. Look at Stephen Hawking, smartest man in the world.
Yeah, all right, mate.
Now he's dead, isn't he, mate?
So you're saying that Steve Jobs, oh, not Steve Jobs, he's also dead.
Well, mate, they're all dead.
So you're saying that Bill Gates is putting himself in the same line of fire and has the same likelihood of gaining injury that Anthony Joshua or Conor McGregor has? I mean, everyone has a chance at getting a deathly illness, but that's besides the point. That has nothing to do with how manly you are. That can get anyone.
Hold your phone still.
So such a dumb thing.
So I don't know how we got onto Bill Gates, because Bill Gates isn't fucking roaring whenever he created Windows, is that he's not stood on a stage.
But you're
better than you. He's not staring people down.
But your whole point is the measure of someone that can win a fight, essentially.
What?
Your whole thing was the measure of a man is someone that can win a fight.
Yeah, somebody who can come in and take your chick. Like, you turn up somewhere and somebody rolls up next to you and is like, your girl's pretty fine. She's mine now. Stop me from taking her.
All right. Sure, she can leave. I'm a multi-billionaire. She's not going to have any money in 4 years when you got punched in the face so hard that you can't see straight and talk. Like, you can take her right now. Like, this is ridiculous. I can't understand. I can't understand.
We're not talking about Bill Gates. We're saying you and Laura go out in Birmingham tonight.
Yeah.
And Conor McGregor rolls up and is like, she's mine now.
Mm-hmm.
What are you going to do about it?
I mean, he could fight me. He could very well kill me. So he's stronger and faster and harder than I am. Sure. It doesn't make him a man, though. Like, that's not what makes the measure of a man or like, if you can evolve past that point where you don't need to put yourself in the line of fire, that's why we don't use.
You can't avoid it.
Huh?
Sometimes you can't avoid it.
Oh, no. That's very well and good. So in those small situations, yeah, all right, you win. But, like, otherwise we would still be fighting with shields and spears and swords. Like, some dude rocked up with a gun, like, you might be well hard with a spear, mate, but I can shoot you from 400 feet away and you can't touch me with a fucking spear. Like, that's the point of evolution. Like, the measure of a man isn't someone that can fight. The measure of a man is someone that can just work out. You fight yourself into a tiz. I'll be over here behind a gate, a wall, and 40 security guards. Hello? Hello. That's fine. I'll turn the camera.
Tell that to King T'Challa. Tell that to Captain America. Tell that to the Hulk.
No, nothing. Do you mean those those characters that don't exist?
I'm talking about the people that other people idolize because of their stature.
That's really not the point of those.
What's the point of it?
Yeah.
We fantasize about their powers because they are superhuman. Like, they are faster and stronger. That's why Usain Bolt gets idolized. That's why LeBron James gets idolized, because they are more physical specimens than we are. And what I'm saying is that the most physical specimens that people look up to are, I mean, it's that, like, Conor McGregor trounces LeBron James. LeBron James outweighs him. So Conor fights at 155 pounds. LeBron has 100 pounds on him. Conor head kick.
Probably. Oh, I mean, absolutely. But again, Conor couldn't get within 4 miles of him if LeBron didn't want him to.
That's ridiculous.
Nope.
That's ridiculous. Conor goes where he wants.
I'm sure in his own small mind, that dude can go where he wants. You try and get him anywhere near someone that runs things as much as LeBron does.
I don't know. Maybe you don't. How well do you know Conor McGregor?
I've met him down the local pub.
I've had him on for tea.
Yeah.
I don't know if you recognize just how much influence he has. I think he was
also USC. He has a huge influence. You're right.
That's not just James. He's a freaking hero in the country of Ireland.
All right. So that small country of Ireland and that small UFC setup that he has is working well for him. Then LeBron runs corporations, businesses.
Which ones?
I don't know. His what's the word I'm looking for? Portfolio. But I mean, he makes a shit ton of money just sitting back. Like, it's just, you have this really weird, simplistic caveman approach to life. It's dumb.
So LeBron has 38 million followers on Instagram.
Sure. How many does LeBron have?
That is LeBron.
Oh, he has 14?
Look, what?
What did you just... I didn't hear what you said. Say it again.
LeBron has 38 million followers. Conor has 24.
Right.
So does that mean that LeBron James can't get anywhere near to Cristiano Ronaldo if he doesn't want to?
No, LeBron James could get near to Cristiano Ronaldo.
Why? Because Cristiano's got 127 million followers.
Because he's a businessman, and he would approach him being a businessman. If Conor McGregor wanted to show up effing and jeffing, taking his shirt off and punching people in the nose, everyone would be like, "You're all right, mate. I'm not inviting you over again."
Conor McGregor's got his own business. He's a promoter of sporting events. He's got his own suit line. He's got his own alcohol. He's got his own fitness workout regime. Conor McGregor,
then.
Huh?
He's a bum.
He's by no means a bum.
He's a bum. Any guy that is as successful as he is, but still gets riled up enough to start throwing stuff at a bus, or jumping in on fights and starting referees, or effing and jeffing and being the tiny little insignificant human being that he is a bum.
I don't understand that. You don't understand him, man, because you don't recognize how.
If you're great, act like you're great. You don't act like you're some scrote on the street corner. Greatness shows. That guy shows like he's still trying to work his way out of Ireland or something. I don't know what's wrong with him.
So is Floyd Mayweather still a scrote?
I don't like Floyd Mayweather even a little bit. Like the whole walking around with cash and stuff like that. If he could read past levels of a 4-year-old, I might have more respect for him. But he's dumb.
How dumb is he if I think he's a billionaire. I think he's got over $1 billion in career earnings.
He probably has a whole bunch of people that run stuff for him.
Yeah, he does. That's what's called having a business. He might not be able to read, but he's a very smart man.
Conor McGregor is a bum.
We can agree to disagree on that. Anyway, we've gone considerably over what we intended on going.
We have.
This one wasn't a funny podcast. This was more of me pointing out that you're a moron and that you have zero idea of what a man looks like.
I'm sure you'll show this podcast to your friends, and like you'll have like-minded friends, so that's fine. But
this one's been pretty good though, because we haven't cursed an awful lot in this one. So you should put this one out. If you want to put this on Facebook, go for it.
I'm not gonna
and we'll get some comments and we'll see what people think.